guys, welcome back to another episode of Creative Adventures. So it is almost fall and I got a whole bunch of new fragrances in from Wholesale Supplies Plus today. I got 8 new fragrances in, and so obviously the first thing I wanted to do when I got off work today was make soap. I actually have a friend here kind of assisting me today, Christy. She's been in one of my previous videos, but she's learning to make soap with me too. So you might hear her in the background in some of this video, so if you do, that's Christy. One of the fragrances I got in today was a little bit more of a masculine scent than I usually do. It's called Tobacco Leaf and Amber, and I'd heard a lot of really good things about this fragrances, and I'm pretty sure this is my favorite one of the 8 that I got in today. The amber is really strong in it, but it also has a really nice sweet note. It is a very masculine scent though. Chris actually really likes this one, so I have a feeling this is going to be a good soap for him. So I was trying to figure out what I want to do with this soap design. This fragrance actually has, I think it was 9% vanilla in it, so this is definitely most 100% absolutely going to discolor. I do have my vanilla color stabilizer out so that hopefully I can counteract it a little bit, but I decided it would be safest just to do a really dark soap. So I think I'm going to use my slab mold, my 18 bar slab mold, and do a black loaf of soap, swirl in on the top just a few other colors like this gingerbread brown, which is another new color that I got in, and then maybe some yellow and orange. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna kind of wing this and see how it goes. But this is the golden pineapple yellow. You've seen me use that before. And then I've got a couple of color oranges here. I've got Siesta Sunset and Adobe Orange. I don't know, I might use them both, I might not use either, we'll see. But that's gonna be for the soap base. But what you see right here is Melt and Pour. I've done one other Melt and Pour soap before. I'll link that up in the top corner. I did that Amazon Lily Rain, but I wanna use Melt and Pour today to make embeds. So I have a couple of these IKEA ice trays. Who the hell would use an ice tray shaped like this? I have no idea, but that's what it is. So I've got these 2 ice cube trays, and I'm going to do some Melt and Pour in a couple of different colors. Probably a reddish brownish color and then kind of an orangish yellowish color, and then try to mix them together to actually make it look like amber. And then I'll probably crudely cut these up and then just stick them into the top of my soaps. I haven't really decided. Again, I'm just gonna kind of wing it. So I think we can go ahead and get started, and I'm going to go start by melting down my Melt and Pour. Okay, I've got my glycerin Melt and Pour soap all melted down. So I'm just going to experiment with colors because I don't really know what is going to make the colors I'm looking for. So we're just gonna play around. But I'm gonna start with the lighter color. I'm gonna use golden yellow first, and then I'm probably gonna add some orange into it. Maybe I'll add some orange.
It does actually look pretty close.
I think it might be a little bit too gold.
A little bit of orange, maybe.
Tiny bit. Tiny bit of orange. This is the Siesta Sunset, not the darker one. It's the lighter of the 2. Okay, that was a really, really tiny bit. More than that. It needs more. What do you think?
Oh, I think that looks pretty close.
I think it does too.
That's what we're comparing it to. You can see that.
I think that is pretty close actually. Okay, so what do we think? Start with orange and then add a little bit of red?
I think so. That
the dark orange?
Yeah, and then we need a little bit, maybe like the brown, make it a little bit darker maybe.
Okay, so I'm not gonna add much of this because I have no idea if it's gonna be neon or not. Yeah, I may not need red.
I was just gonna say, yeah, it's very red-orange. I thought that might be pretty good.
Okay, so you think I should add a little bit of brown?
Yeah, because you see how like those have like that kind of reddish brown color. Some bits are red and some are not.
Oh, I'm just gonna add the tiniest amount of
be too dark.
brown. Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
I think that looks really neat. I think that looks pretty good.
Very nice.
I like it.
Christy is insisting that I use an eyedropper to put flakes in.
It looks like that.
So here's what we're working with. This is what we're trying to imitate. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're sure as hell gonna try it.
Why not?
Okay, so I think I'm gonna try it in this little
nothing
one first.
ventured, nothing gained, right?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna fill this up. And then take a little pipette, suck some up.
I think that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Damn it.
I sometimes have good ideas. I don't know, Bruce.
The problem is I'm gonna have way too much of the red color.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was saying. You'd probably do a lot less because do that, or you could do it the other way.
Okay, so I'm gonna just try doing like a drop in this one. Okay, that's kind of neat too though.
Yeah, that looks neat too. Agreed. It's a flowy amber. It's actually this little jewel thing that I've got right here. Looks like it.
Just made a miss. Oh yeah.
It's got a flow.
Okay, I think I'm setting up a little too much. So yeah, I'm setting up. So that's the downside of using a pipette because once it sets in here, I can't do anything about it. I actually just like how it looks just
Swirl.
pouring it.
Yeah.
It's actually sinking down in there, which is kind of what I wanted.
Yeah. Agreed. I'm interested to see how it'll look once it's
I mean, it's not going to be super clear.
yeah. Is there colorants that you can get that are
Yeah,
clear like that?
liquid colorants.
Ah, okay. And what goes with what? Because I know some things you use with like liquid soaps versus.
Yeah, and some colorants are best made for melt and pour versus.
Cold process.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking.
Yep.
They're gonna be really pretty. Like I'm like actually really. I was kind of meh about this idea at first, like in general, and now I'm actually kind of stoked about it.
I know, I like the jewel tones that it makes me.
That's one benefit of using melt and pour over cold process soap is that because it's clear, micas actually are very sparkly. I mean, these are what are used in makeup and eyeshadows and stuff, but you don't see that in cold process soap. So you actually see the shimmer in melt and pour. Those are gonna be so neat looking.
I like them.
Okay, so the idea here is that whenever these get set up, I will chop these into pieces and I will probably chop these up into pieces as well and just kind of get like rough cut looking amber. And then once I pour my soap, I will just kind of randomly stick these into the top of the bar so that they're sticking out the top, almost like they're like kind of half buried into the soap. So that's the idea. So we are going to set these off to the side to set up, and then I will bring in my oils for mixing the actual soap and we'll get started on that. All right, our melt and pour little amber pieces are setting up off to the side, and I've got my base oils here. This is my standard recipe. I'll have the percentages for the oils on the blog in case you want to recreate this. I've got my lye water already mixed up right here, and I've got sodium lactate already mixed in. I'm using my slab mold today, like I mentioned earlier. This is my 18 bar slab mold with dividers. I used this in the black raspberry vanilla soap. So this is actually quite a bit bigger of a batch of soap than I usually make for my loaf mold. This is a 4.5 pound batch of soap. I've got my fragrance oil right here, and I mentioned earlier that it does have a pretty high percentage of vanilla in it. So I do have vanilla color stabilizer mixed into this one at a 1:1 ratio. I've got a couple of buckets off to the side for mixing colors. My base color is actually going to be black. This is going to be a very dark soap, and for that I'm going to be using activated charcoal. You've seen me use this before in the charcoal facial soap that I really, really love. I still use that soap every single morning, and Christy's off camera raising her hand because she uses it every morning too. That is such a really good recipe. So this recipe will have a lot of activated charcoal in it for the color. I'm also going to be using gingerbread brown, and I decided on golden pineapple yellow. So this is gonna be a weird looking soap, I think. I think this is just going to be very strange, and I don't know if you're really even gonna be able to see the brown against the black. I want it to be really, really subtle with just a little bit of a pop of yellow running through the top of it. So as usual, I'm just kind of winging it. I have no idea if this is actually gonna work out the way I want it to, but we're gonna give it a shot. What can it hurt, right? Now I'm up to a nice good emulsification, so I'm gonna split off some for my colors.
Leave that so you don't accidentally grab it. This is done, right?
Yeah, that's done. Thank you. So I'm going to start with my colors and then move to my black because I know it's gonna take a whole lot of this black to get mixed in. So I'm gonna start with my lightest color, which is my yellow. And I'm gonna use about a teaspoon of the yellow. And then I'm gonna use about a teaspoon of my gingerbread brown. Actually, not quite a teaspoon of that. I might need more of that, we'll see. Okay, let's mix up my yellow here. Okay, I like that color. It's a mustardy color.
Yep.
I'm gonna go over to my brown. Now I'm gonna add my activated charcoal to my big batch. And it's probably gonna take a lot because this stuff is going to be very gray to begin with. So that was a half tablespoon to start. Yep, I'm gonna need more. I want it to be black, like actually black. Now, I just need to get my fragrance mixed in and we're ready to pour. Okay, so I'm debating on whether I want to add any of my fragrance to this yellow. I am really uncertain how this is going to discolor. Even though I added vanilla color stabilizer, it still might. I think I'm going to add just a tiny, tiny bit to the yellow, but I'm going to put most of it into my black and brown. Almost all of it into my black, some into my brown, a tiny bit in my yellow. And then I'm just going to mix these in by hand. That fragrance actually lightened this up, which is interesting. I've never had that happen. It lightened my black up too.
Yeah.
All right, once again, I'm using my big 18 bar Brambleberry slab mold. It's this wooden mold that I used for the black raspberry vanilla, but I've got a silicone liner that's made to fit it inside. And we're just gonna get to pouring. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm just kind of winging this. So, I mean, I kind of have a vague idea in my head of what I want, but not really. I'm gonna pour most of my black right into the mold, almost all of it. I kind of want to do something similar to what I did with the raspberry soap, but not so dramatic. Oh, that's gonna stand out.
Yeah.
That's actually gonna do what I wanted. Okay.
I was gonna say, it's kind of neat. It's a lot more than I expected it to be. That is gonna be pretty cool.
You know, we're not cutting this, you know, so you're only gonna see
a little bit of it.
A little bit of it on the top.
Well, you will see it as you pull it down, so when the pieces are on the inside, you'll see some of it.
That's true, but I'm gonna save some of this for the top as it sets up, because I want the top
to be kind of tiger stripey like that.
I think I'm gonna swirl it a little bit, a tiny, tiny bit. Not as much as I normally do.
Kind of already doing that.
Yeah. I'm gonna go the other way though.
Yeah, this way.
Yeah.
Just once this direction, or like, you know.
Yeah, like this way.
Kind of like I did on the top of the other one. Yeah, that stands out a lot more than I thought it was going to. I like those colors together. I thought they were going to look good, but I like them, seeing them even better.
Even better than you thought, yeah.
Yeah. And the scent changed as well. It's sweeter smelling to me.
I was already picking up the sweet.
Maybe it just took my nose longer to pick up that. I guess it's a middle scent then, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. It's definitely not the top scent. The top scent is very musky.
Yes, agreed. Like it.
I am quite pleased. I like it when a soap works out.
Agreed.
I know you guys on camera are not going to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm just scraping out the last of the soap out of this bucket. And now remember, with this slab mold, this is going to be the top of my soap. So what you see on top is what you're going to see on the soap. But I am going to give it a little bit of a swirl. Okay, I'm just going to use the end of my chopstick just like I did in that black raspberry vanilla soap, and I'm going to give this some swirls. I think I'm actually going to go diagonal this time and see what happens. Why not? Let's do something a little different.
Are you going all the way to the bottom of the mold?
I am. That way it swirls just a tad to the bottom. Do I want to leave it stripey? I think I do want to leave it stripey.
I like it. It's very feather-like. I think it looks neat.
Do I want to leave it stripey? Or do I want to go this way too?
No, I think leave it like that. It's got a neat flow to it. Because otherwise it'll look
Just like my last soap.
exactly. It'll look too much the same. You want something different.
Okay.
I like that.
I'm not going to touch it then. I'm going to leave it. So now I gotta put my dividers in. Now, I just need to get this lined up. There we go. And right into, ta-da!
Ooh, I like that.
Make sure it's pushed all the way down. Okay. Now that is what the top of each bar is going to look like. Except I do still need to put embeds in. I think my soap's a little too runny to do that though. I might test it with one real quick just to see. Okay, so these are the little embeds I made earlier. We just popped those out. Look how cool those are. I'm actually gonna chop each one of these into 3 pieces.
Ah, pretty.
So here's what my little pieces look like. They're varying colors because we mixed them. So I'm just gonna stick these in the tops of the soap. Oh, that one's pretty too. Oh, I think I poured that one down. So that one's real pretty. So I'm just going to put one of these in each bar, sticking out the top, and then one of these, and just kind of vary the colors. Oh, still too wet. Well, that one sunk. Okay, we're gonna have to let that set up a little more.
Yeah, that one's a gold mine. Book.
Wasn't expecting it to sink that fast. Okay, we're gonna let this soap here sit for a little bit and then we'll be back. Okay, I think I'm set up enough now that I can add my little amber pieces in. So, I'm just gonna kind of randomly place them. Ta-da! I like it. It is very different, that's for sure.
Agreed. I like it. I like the little embeds. Those are neat.
Okay, so I am going to put this soap to bed, and after about 24 hours, we will come back and I'll unmold it and show you the final bar. Hey guys, welcome back. It's been about 18 hours. They came out of the silicone really easy and it feels pretty solid, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to get a couple of these out, make sure it's not still too soft, but I think we're good to go. Oh yeah, I think we're good. Ooh. Man, that is a pretty bar of soap. It almost looks like wood grain, which is beautiful and perfect for this fragrance. Oh, you guys, I'm happy, happy, happy with this. Very happy with this. Okay, let's get a couple more out. You guys, look at this bar of soap. I'm so happy with this. That brown stands out just enough from that black, and then the bright pop of yellow. It's like a wood grain, it really is. I just love how subtle that is. With the little amber pieces sticking out on top. Oh, this is just, it's exactly what I envisioned. And it smells really good too. Chris likes this scent a lot. This is just perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, let me get the rest of these unmolded and then I'll show you a few more bars. All right, you guys, I am really, really happy with how these came out. They are exactly what I was envisioning. I didn't want something to be like super like swirly, pretty, girly kind of look. I wanted it to be kind of an earthy look to go with such an earthy fragrance. And this turned out exactly how I was envisioning. You've got the very nice, almost wood grain-like pattern around the sides and the top of the bar, and these little faux amber pieces that we made out of melt and pour yesterday just complement it perfectly. Like, it looks like a piece of amber stuck in a piece of wood. Like, I'm super happy with how these turned out, and they came out nice and clean out of the mold as well. The fragrance is earthy. It's very earthy and musky with a little hint of sweetness, I think, from the amber. I'm not sure. Maybe a tiny bit of vanilla in there to go with that tobacco leaf. It's really, really nice, and Chris likes this fragrance a lot, so I think he's really gonna enjoy using this soap. The word I wanna use to describe it, both the fragrance and the soap design itself, is just elegant. It just looks elegant to me, and I like it. I really, really like this one a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you have any questions about my recipe or soap making in general, or if you have suggestions for future projects, let me know down in the comments below because I'd love to hear from you. So until next time on Creative Adventures.